All right, come to a comfortable seat. And make sure to set your hips up on something so that you can sit well. You can find that tilt of your pelvis. And as you find that comfortable seat, do a little shifting. There's this kind of older concept in meditation that you should be still. And we're not meditating per se, but as we come to a comfortable seat, in order to make it so that you can be more still in your seat, you actually have to take that first little bit to shift, move, and make it more comfortable for yourself. And then allow yourself to come to some stillness. Allow your eyes to close if that's comfortable. And begin to tune into your breath, moving slowly in and out of your body. Take a moment to watch your breath. And notice the physical expansion and contraction that happens with your breath. And now draw hands to connect at heart center in Anjali Mudra or prayer position at your heart. And take a moment to tune into an intention for yourself. If you've been focusing on intentions for the new year, then you can always pick something that you've been focusing on. Or you can pick something heart-centered that you could use some focus on today. Whatever that intention is, take a couple of breaths, slowly in and out of your nose. Allowing your intention to settle into your body with your breath. And as you softly open your eyes, release your hands down and gently draw your shoulders up and back and begin to take a little movement side to side with your head and your neck, ear to shoulder, ear to shoulder. And then as you come back into center, pause here and move through your pelvis, a little shifting of your hips, feeling your sitting bones, and then come back to some stillness. Engage your legs. Think of your feet firing up and your legs pushing down. From there, reach your right arm up toward the ceiling. Plug in with your right shoulder blade, left fingertips to the floor beside you. Stay plugged in with both sitting bones as you take a side stretch over toward the left side. Take a big, deep breath. Push with your left fingertips and expand your rib cage to the right. Inhale, come back at the center. And again, a little bit of movement here through your pelvis. Reconnecting with your sitting bones and whatever you're sitting on. And then reach left arm. And as you reach your left arm, start to take your right fingertips to the floor beside you. Plug in with your left shoulder blade and then begin to take that side stretch. Keeping both sitting bones engaged into whatever you're sitting on. Big deep breath and allow your ribs to expand out to the left side. Helps to use a push on the right to find that. Big deep breath, full inhale, long deep exhale in and out of the nose. Inhale, come back up to center. Walk your fingertips forward and work your way as deeply into a fold as your body is ready for. Maybe setting forearms on something like a block or a bolster. Take a full big breath. And now gently rise back up using your hands to support you. Walk your fingertips just behind you and push down with your fingertips And with that push, start to lift up and open through your heart space, finding that a little bit of a back bend here. And now use your hands to support you again to rise back up to center. Switch the cross of your legs, coming to maybe the slightly less comfortable cross for yourself. Shift your sitting bones. And then engage your legs, engage your feet. And take your hands to your thighs and create a little press down to help you feel that connection that you have with whatever you're sitting on. And now reaching your right arm over your ear again, left fingertips to the floor, plug in with your right shoulder blade, and then start that side stretch, taking in as deeply as your body needs. Push with your fingertips and expand your ribs over to the right side. Take a big deep breath and turn just a little more open with your right shoulder at the same time as keeping your left shoulder blade on your back. Inhale back up to center. Root down with your hands on your legs, re-engaging your legs, and then lift your left arm over your ear. Plug in with your shoulder blade, and then work your right fingertips out to the right side. As far as you need to go in this side stretch, and then push. Expand your ribs out to the left. Begin to turn more open with your left shoulder, but keep your right shoulder blade moving onto your back. Big full breath. Then inhale back up to center, fingertips to the floor, and start to work your way forward again, coming into that forward fold. And as you find that place for yourself, feel free to add a little bit of movement through your torso and your hips to find a little more space. Take a big deep breath. Then inhale, gently bring yourself back up to a tall seat. And fingertips come behind you, finding that little bit of the back bend. Push your fingertips down and lift up and open through your chest. Thinking of back bending through the upper back as opposed to the low back. So in the low belly, engage. In the low ribs, engage as well. Use an exhale to help you. Then inhale, lift your chest even higher, expanding more through the heart space. Then inhale, rise back up and shift forward, coming onto hands and knees. And from hands and knees, setting hips back towards your heels, taking a child's pose right off. And as you take that child's pose, add a little shifting, a little movement to create more space. But then settle into some stillness for about 3 deep breaths. Then inhale, gently rise to hands and knees. Set yourself up, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. And from this place, rotate elbow pits forward, push, expanding into your upper back. Lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog pose. And then do a little bit of movement forward and back, almost coming into a plank pose. Inhale forward with your shoulders, your hips are still high. Rotate elbow pits again, push, and then hips move back. Inhale forward with your shoulders, re-engage that external arm bone rotation. And exhale, push hips back. One more time, inhale forward, push, and exhale back to down dog. Now, from your lats out through your hands, push, lift your sitting bones up high, and then as you sway your hips side to side, slowly allow yourself that length from hip to armpit. And now walk your way forward, coming into your forward fold at the front of your mat. Finding feet inner hip distance or wider. Take an inhale and lengthen part way. Exhale. exhale and fold over your legs. Inhale and lengthen, send your sitting bones up, extend your heart. Exhale and fold. One more time, inhale, heart-way lift. Send your sitting bones up as you extend your heart forward. Also engage low belly, engage low ribs. And walk your hands up your legs, coming all the way up to stand. Finding your mountain pose. Feet inner hip distance apart and parallel. Lift and spread your toes, fire them up, and then root them down. Inhale, stretch up overhead. Clasp hands, turn your palms up and push up. As you push up with your palms, plug in with your shoulder blades. Now, little bend to your knees, engage your low belly and your low ribs. Lift your ribs, your chest, your heart. Exhale, release your hands, fold over your legs. Inhale, lengthen part way. And exhale, fold. Now find whatever you're using for blocks here and bring your hands to your blocks, shifting so that your shoulders are over your wrists on your blocks. Extend your heart. And now we're going to find our balance onto our left foot, lifting our right leg behind us. And as we do so, we're going to keep our toes aimed down. So rotate your inner thigh up, outer thigh down, even as you lift your leg. Send your left hip crease back in space. On your exhale, set your right foot down to meet your left. Then shift balance onto your right foot and begin to lift your left leg, rotating your toes down all the way from your inner thigh. Take a big deep breath. Wrap your right hip back. Exhale, set left foot down. Inhale, lift your right leg. And now, as you keep your toes turned down, take your left thumb into your hip crease and press it back. Extend your heart, and now tone, low belly and low ribs. Exhale, both hands down, both feet down. Inhale, lift your left leg. And now take your right thumb into your hip crease and press it back. Tone your belly, tone your low ribs, extend your chest. Exhale, both hands down, both feet down. Inhale, lengthen part way. Exhale and fold. Plant fingertips now. Step your right foot back into your lunge. Now turn and plant your back heel so your foot is parallel to the back of your mat. Inhale, rise up to your warrior two, finding that bend into your front knee and open it up towards your pinky toe edge. Take a big deep breath. Exhale, hands come down to the front of your mat. Tuck your back toes and step forward. Next exhale, left foot steps back. Turn and plant your back heel, foot parallel to the back of your mat. And inhale, rise up, warrior two. Settling into your front knee, open your knee up, lift your ribs, your chest, your heart. Big breath. Exhaling, hands come down to the front of your mat. Tuck your back toes and step forward. Inhale and lengthen part way. Walk your hands up your legs, rising all the way up to stand. Again, as you find your feet inner hip distance apart and parallel, lift and spread your toes and then root them down. And now hands come to your hips and walk them further back onto your low back. And even turn your palms down. With your palms aimed down, think of a little gentle push down onto your glutes. Now, bend your knees and send your inner thighs back. Sitting bones move back and even think of lifting them up a little bit. But then wrap your glutes down and under. Push into the floor and stand taller. Lift your chest, a little bit of a back bend. As you take that little bit of a back bend, pull your low belly in, your low ribs in. Lift your chest. Shoulder blades are on your back. Inhale, rise back up, release your hands, turn your palms forward. Mountain pose, close your eyes and tune into your body in this space, your mind in this space. Inhale, stretch up overhead. Exhale, bent knees, fold over your legs. Inhale and lengthen part way. Exhale, fold. Plant your fingertips and step your right foot back into your lunge. Turn and plant your back heel. Inhale, rise up to your warrior two, opening up your front knee, bending into it. Find that stacked place for your front shin. Lift through your sides. Take a big, deep breath. Hands come behind you to clasp. Lift up and open through your shoulders. Hug your elbows back. Take a really big inhale and maybe lift your hands away from your back. Think of pressing palms together. Keep elbows bent and hugging back. Deep inhale, long, full exhale. Good. Now gently release your hands, and we're going to take our hands to our hips. Turn your back toes so you're now faced forward in a lunge. Press down with your hands on your hips and lift your chest. From here, left hip wraps back. Tone your low belly, your low ribs, but then lift your heart up even higher. And now, you might bring your hands to the ground when we do this, or you might come up to just balance on your front leg. But push into your front foot. Push your back toes down and lift straight up with your torso, and then begin to hinge from your hips to find that warrior three place. Rotating your outer right hip down, toes down, thumb into your left hip crease, and press it back. Take one more big breath right here. Extend your heart, tone through your core. And then step softly back into your lunge. Lift your ribs, your chest, your heart. And now turn and plant your back heel, opening up to that warrior two place. Take a big, deep breath. On your exhale, plant both hands. Step back, downward facing dog pose. Full breath. Inhale, come forward into your plank. Feel free to use knees on the ground here if you would like to. Rotate elbow pits forward and push. Extend your chest forward. And exhale, lower all the way down to your belly. Shoulders are lifting up and back first here. Then root down to the tops of your legs, your knees. Engage your low belly and your low ribs. Inhale, lift up and open as high as you need in Cobra. Exhale, push back to a downward dog. You might work through hands and knees there. Take a deep breath. And then walk your way forward, coming into your forward fold at the front of your mat. Take an inhale and lengthen part way. Exhale and fold over your legs. Pause in your fold. You might hold on to opposite elbows or clasp your hands behind the back of your neck. Or just let your arms hang in a ragdoll. Take a big deep breath. Add a little movement here if that feels good to your body. And then planting your fingertips, step your left foot back into your lunge this time. Turning and planting your back heel. Inhale, rise up to your warrior two. And we'll take that same sequence on the second side. As you bend into your front knee, find the stacked place for your front shin. Your knee is opening up. Take your hands behind you to clasp. Lift up and open through your heart space. And think of shoulders lifting up and back. Shoulder blades are engaging. Elbows are hugging back. Maybe you lift your hands away from your back here, keeping your shoulders lifted. Take a full big breath. Good, hands release to your hips. And now we're turning our hips forward as we tuck our back toes. So now we're in that front facing lunge. Press down with your hands on your hips, lift your sides, lift your heart up high. Wrap your right hip back. Take a big deep breath. Now tone, low belly, low ribs. Use your back toes to help you and push straight up first to balance on your right leg. Then hinge and find as deep a warrior three as your body is ready for. which could be toes staying on the ground. It's entirely an option, or even hands coming down to your blocks. Take a big deep breath wherever that is for you. Outer left hip is rotating down. Right hip crease is pushing back. Tone, low belly, low ribs. Extend longer. Good, one more big breath. And then softly step back into your lunge. Find a big lift through your heart space. And then turn and plant your back heel. Open up your arms, warrior two. Then exhale, both hands come down to the front of your mat. Tuck your back toes and step back. Downward facing dog pose. Big deep breath. Lowering to your knees, take hips to heels, child's pose. One last time for your practice. Take a couple big breaths as you shift and move a little bit to create that space. And then settle into a little stillness. And then gently push yourself up to your seat. Come all the way down to sitting bones. And now feet come together into your butterfly. We're not going to stay in butterfly for long, so you don't necessarily need to prop right here. But blocks handy if you decide you'd like to prop in a bit. For a moment, just inch your feet closer together to create a good push of the four corners of your feet. Push your heels. And then reach back and move your sitting bones. And you might be sitting up on something here. That's okay. Sometimes that helps your low back not to round back. Take a big inhale here, length through your spine. Exhale, you're hinging and folding as deeply as your body is ready for. So you might walk your hands out a little ways. Take two more big breaths right here. Inhale, rise back up, and now take your feet out so that you have a diamond shape with your legs. Move your sitting bones. And again, you might have something underneath your hips. Here, you can always add something underneath your knees if you would like, or set that rolled up blanket over the tops of your feet and under your legs. Hands come to your legs if that's comfortable. You can always have them at the floor instead. Take an inhale, lengthen. Exhale, hinge from the hips and fold towards your feet. You might hold on to your feet here. You might set your head all the way down. You might stay a little lifted. You get to find what feels the best to your body. And then a little bit of side to side movement here with your torso. Lengthening from hip to armpit on one side, from hip to armpit on the other side. Take a big inhale and just slightly lift up. Exhale and fold just a tiny bit deeper. Inhale, rise all the way back up. Bring your knees together, footprints to the floor, and then we're going to come all the way down onto our backs. And from our backs, make sure props are handy. Knees come into your chest and rock. And then little tiny circles in one direction with your knees. And slowly start to make those circles bigger and bigger until they're the biggest circle you can make with your knees. And now we're going to switch directions, starting big. And slowly make those circles smaller. And smaller. Until they're teeny circles on the side. And now set your footprints on the ground. Knees drop in together to touch. Hands come to your upper thighs, right up at your hip creases, and give your thighs a push. Enough so that your low back lifts a little from the ground. And then take a really big breath into your low back muscles. Allowing your inhales to expand your belly upward and your low back downward. And your exhales to release. Inhale to expand in both directions. And exhale to release. One more time. Full inhale. Long, deep exhale. And then start a little movement with your pelvis, a little side to side pivot. Your knees might move around a little bit here, that's okay. And then a rock side to side. And a rock forward and back. And now find whatever you're using for props. Soles of feet come together into your butterfly. Set your props underneath your thighs. Even if you don't feel like you need them, set them there for a moment to feel the support that you can find of not having to use any hip flexors to keep your legs where they are, okay? So you're gonna find that and then take your blanket and set it over your hips and belly, or you can set it over your entire body if you would like to. And then come to a goalpost place with your arms, or a cactus place with your arms, with your palms facing up. And take a deep breath now. And this time, instead of thinking of filling up your front body with breath, fill up your back body. So inhale your low back, your mid back, and upper back into the ground. Exhale, release them. Inhale your back body into the ground. And exhale, release them. Now 3 more breaths this way. And then you're going to shift into whatever variation of Shavasana feels the best to you. That might be right here, or you can shift your arms, or you can shift your legs, or prop in another way. Find what feels the best and take some deep breaths. Starting to let your body settle. Starting to give yourself that permission to release and let go. Begin to take a deeper breath. Gently add movement into fingers and into toes. A little turning of your head side to side. And as you're ready to bend your knees and roll over to whichever side feels best today. Slowly pushing yourself back up to your seat. Find that comfortable spot for yourself. And draw hands together at heart center in Anjali Mudra, or prayer position at the heart. And with your eyes closed, tune back into your intention. Whether that's one that you've set for the new year or one that's just for today. Fully allow your breath to help your intention settle in. Have a very peaceful, beautiful day. Namaste.